welcome back to Coffee with the Wolves. My name's Damian Dennis, and this week we're going to be catching up with track and field. Joining me is head coach Jeff DeGraw. Jeff, welcome back to the show and Grounded Coffee Bar.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yeah, your indoor half of the season just ended a couple weeks ago, or a week ago, and now you've got this long break before the outdoor slate starts. So.
Yeah, it was a good indoor season, and it's good to also have a break. And now we become totally weather dependent with the outdoor season, much like all the other spring sports. So, but with the success of the indoor season, getting about 8 to 10 national qualifiers on each side, the men and the women's, was nice to do because in those events we don't have to worry about that right now.
Yeah, cool. Well, we'll talk more about that, but. Before we dive into the deeper conversation, I got to remind everyone we're at Grounded Coffee Bar because we are sponsored by Grounded Coffee Bar.
Hey everyone, it's a great day to get grounded. With locations in New Lenox and Frankfort, it's always a good time to stop by and try our seasonal drinks, whether that's cherry as summer comes to an end or pumpkin as fall begins. We've also updated our hours to better serve you. We're open late on Fridays and Saturdays now until 9 p.m. Make sure you're following our socials, that's Instagram and Facebook, for the latest updates on our specials and events so you don't miss out. Grounded Coffee Bar is a proud sponsor of Coffee with the Wolves and JJC Athletics.
All right, Jeff. You mentioned, about 8 to 10 national qualifiers, men's side, women's side. You don't have to worry about some of those events. Could you speak a little bit about, just some of those athletes who have qualified in those events they've qualified in?
Yeah, Kamari Scott has had an absolutely fantastic indoor season as a sprinter. She's a freshman from Joliet West. She missed last year's outdoor season because of an ankle injury her senior year in high school, and she has just gotten better and better every week. And the thing I love about her is she's such a competitor and absolutely hates to lose no matter what she likes to do, and that's so much of what I am.
Yeah.
Even when I'm driving here, I'm like, okay, I'm in 5th place now. I got to,
I do that.
But she, like I said, every week, 60-meter dash, broke the record every week that we had a meet. But the 60 doesn't count for a national qualifier because it's 100 meters outdoors.
Yeah.
So, but she's prepared for that. She also qualified in the 200. So we don't really have to worry about that event at all outdoor. She'll run it, but she's already qualified. She also ran an open 400. She was a part of our 4x4 relay. So she did a lot of different things indoors. So she had an absolutely great indoor season. Also, our distance crew qualified in just about every event you could indoors, and they just carried that over from their successful cross-country season.
Yeah.
So the distance people really look good. We got the longer races to qualify in, like the 10,000, the steeplechase, different things like that. But and then on the men's side, Caleb Keys had a great indoor season, set the school record in the 800, ran a 156, which is by far and away the best time in the country.
Yep.
In Division III through the indoor season. He also qualified in the Open 400, and then as a part of our 4x4 relay, and then our 4x8 relay, which has also qualified, and we're 2-time defending champs in that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to have a lot of decisions to make come nationals, which are, the first weekend in May?
Yeah, May,
I think 5th or 7th?
7th, 8th, 9th, whatever that weekend is.
Yeah, because we've talked about in the past, you may have an athlete who qualifies in, half a dozen events, but they're only running in half of those half
Correct.
a dozen events. So, you're going to have already at this point, you already have decisions looming.
And another part is you're only allowed 3 per event in one relay.
Yeah.
So like last year, we had 800 people qualify, and you have to make those decisions on what's best for the team and how you can score points. And, you don't want to run one person in every event, although we did do that last year with somebody, but which was very successful. But, those are decisions, what's best for the individual and the team.
Yeah. How do you go about making those decisions, specifically what's best for maybe on the individual side? Because, the team side, I think we all can kind of understand. But on the individual side, how do you kind of assess that?
Well, you have to look at the time schedule, and especially in events that they have qualifying rounds, when does that time schedule, like it's impossible, like I'll use Kamari Scott as an example. She's a novice in the 400, but she can run a great 400. But the 400 and 100 in college are back-to-back. So that would be an impossible double, to do. Now, people have tried that in the past and have been successful, but they're also a little bit older. But, we want her to be successful in one of them rather than be average in two of them.
Yeah.
I'd never deny somebody the opportunity. And we look at the lists, the performance list as we get closer to nationals and see where they can be most successful, because I don't want to take away the opportunity to maybe win an individual national championship over just being in the middle of pack in two events.
Yeah. Now, we were talking, the laptop was having issues before the recording. We were talking, and you had mentioned, once the outdoor slate starts, both your teams are at full power now. I know you're waiting on a couple men's basketball players. I think you have
a couple women's basketball players also.
Yeah, what are you kind of expecting out of them, especially because, I think, and we'll touch on this near the end, but the women's basketball team, their season's done. Men's, they're playing next week in the national tournament. So, not a lot of time off for the basketball players, but then they're jumping into an entirely different sport with different events.
Well, it is different events, but especially the one in basketball, Javion Green was an All-American last year in the high jump, so basketball has suited him well. We do some of the basketball workouts, like I'll tell him one day, go dunk.
Yeah.
Because he just needs the jumping. Yeah. He's not running in any event, so he doesn't need to be in the greatest of physical condition, but he's gotten that in basketball. He's been up and down the floor. So he'll be a great addition, especially returning All-American. And then also Victor Yatu is going to be a thrower for us. He couldn't last year because he was redshirting coming off the ankle injury. Yeah. So, and I know he's excited about that. And then for the women, we have a very good sprinter who will help tremendously with our sprint core for the women. She has been at a couple practices and is right up there as one of our top sprinters.
Yeah. How do you kind of rotate them in and out, because they missed the indoor slate, and with Victor, he wasn't really going to be participating in the indoor if he wasn't doing basketball anyway, right, for his event. Right. But how do you kind of rotate them in and get them acclimated? You're coming from one sport to this sport.
Well, the women will be nice because now with spring break ahead of us, and they'll have that time off, and then it'll be just like when they were in high school. Yep. Okay, you had like a week off or so, and then you just get back into the other sport. So that's not bad. Basketball will be a little different. We're not going to rush Victor or Javion right away. If they do well in the basketball tournament, they'll come back after break, and then we start school again already. Yeah. We'll give them a couple days. It's not like they're going to start, all of a sudden right away. Yeah. You need that mental break away from everything for at least a couple, 3 days.
Yeah. And just kind of looking ahead to the outdoor slate, a lot more events you're able to participate in. What are you expecting to see out of both your teams, especially in those events that you haven't been able to participate in the indoor slate? How do you – what are you expecting?
Well, I think we'll have a good indoor season, but like I told you before, and this is the same for everybody in track and field, especially in our area, the biggest thing is getting good weather. And around here, you never know. I mean, we've had meets where it's snowed and been sunny and warm in the same meet. So you never know what's going to happen, and you have to take advantage. One of our best meets last year was a cooler day, and it rained. Yeah. But we had some absolutely great performances. And what I try to tell everybody, all teams are in the same in the same boat, so to speak, especially if it's raining, which I think really helped us last year at Nationals, having some bad weather meets, because Nationals wasn't the greatest of weather last year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't it Nationals where it was like sunny and like 60 one day, and then like 40 and rainy the next day?
Well, on the Friday last year at Nationals, we went for the heptathlon at about 7:30 in the morning, and it was raining. And by the time we got back to the hotel with all of our people at 7:30 in the evening, it never stopped raining.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were soaked. In fact, we left our tarps there, and I mean, it was because they were so muddy.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday, it was sunny, but it was so windy, it was unbelievable.
Yeah. You know, and I mean, we're talking about the weather. I mean, it's gloomy and wet outside right now.
Yeah, but at least it's a little bit warmer.
Yeah, yeah. I still had to find a long sleeve to wear under this because.
I know it's damp. That dampness.
But I don't wear coats like ever.
Right.
Because don't ask me why. I just don't. -10? Nah, maybe. But let's talk a little bit about. We'll come back to track, but I want to talk a little bit about basketball real quick because, you know, you're on campus a lot. You've seen, and I mean, you've coached some of these players. Obviously, we've been talking about them, but men's basketball, they've made the national tournament next week. 12th seed. Women's side, they were hoping for an at-large bid, didn't get it. Let's start with the women. What do you think about just them kind of not getting that at-large bid and their season being over?
Well, it was tough, because they had to go to the district tournament. They had to have a 500 record, and they missed by one game.
Yeah.
And it's like I always say in baseball or football, people say, well, those early season games, if you lose, you learn from it, and the win or loss doesn't matter. See, I think it does. How many times have you seen in a baseball season, it comes down to 1 or 2 games at the end of the year, and you can go back in April with a baseball team, and they blew a game.
Yeah.
And most people will tell you at that time, it's early. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Every game matters. Now, you don't have to win them all, but the close ones, you have to learn how to win.
Yeah.
So, one game, that's all it took. And then then you're in the district tournament and you don't know what's going to happen. You can't do anything if you're not there.
Yeah. It's better to control your own destiny than to leave it up to
somebody else's hands.
On the flip side, Coach Turner, men's basketball, they kind of did the opposite a little bit, and they did kind of take control of their own destiny there at the end. They went on a little bit of a run, then made the postseason, won the Mid-Atlantic District Championship, and earned their playoff spot.
And watching that game, I mean,
double overtime.
Oh yes, that was nerve-wracking. Just watching it on my phone. I won't tell you where I was at. I won't tell you I was driving or anything, but that was exciting. And now 12th seed. So what? You still got to beat all the teams to win it. And if you're not there, you can't do anything. How many times has lower seeds won the national tournament in any sport?
Yeah.
So, they have as good a shot at any, and I think people put too much into the seeds because you still have to go out there and play a game. Who they beat, Virginia Peninsula was ranked 11th in the country.
Yep.
We beat them.
Yep.
So, again, you play 40-minute basketball game and see who wins.
Now, I don't want to get too off topic, but like on the topic of basketball, what do you make? We're going to talk larger college sports now real quick, but University of Miami, Ohio being undefeated, if they lose in their conference tournament, them potentially not getting an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. Because that's just really sports politics at play there, but
correct. And you look at football playoffs. Do some of the lower the teams that everybody has the debate. You can only play who's on your schedule, but you schedule them. So it, like we talked about before, when you leave it in somebody else's hands, that's tough. And there's no rule that says if you go undefeated, you make the tournament.
Yeah.
If Miami plays all Division II and III schools and goes undefeated, what good is that going to do them?
Yeah. It's not the time or place for that conversation, but I wanted to bring it up real quick.
Remember, I don't know if you remember, but when Bruce Weber was the coach of Illinois and they were going undefeated, and then they got beat towards the end of the regular season.
Yeah.
The question was it good to have a loss? And there's always debate.
Yeah.
Is it good to lose before the tournament? It depends on everything, but
Yeah.
it's tough to say because I'm in the mind, you don't do everything, but you never want to lose.
Yeah. Sports are weird, man.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you get to the higher levels of college sports. But let's get back on track. We're talking
No pun intended, right?
Yeah. With JJC track and field. How many meets do you have in the outdoor slate? Is it just 4?
Just 5.
5.
Yeah. And they're only on the weekends, and it's all great competition, so that way you're ready. You're ready for each weekend.
And if I recall, because I know I just put in on the website your outdoor schedule, you have about a week off in between.
Correct. Yeah, because by then, 2 Mondays before the national meet, they put out the list, and the top 16 in each event are guaranteed into the national meet. So there's no, some schools back east have their regional meet. We don't have a regional meet. They have their regional meet the week before nationals, but it's just good to get a break because we leave early the week of nationals because it's in Utica, New York, and you need time to travel, and you just don't want to get there and race right away for 3 days.
And I wanted to ask, where do you guys run your practices? Because I've come into the office, when you're, when it's cold out, you got the kids running around in the lobby there. But for some of those other events, if the weather's bad, let's say like the shot put or something, how do you kind of have them practice that?
Well, shot put we can do inside. Discus, we can go outside. We practice at Joliet Memorial Stadium, and they can go out there 40, 50 degree weather's fine. I mean, meets are going to be like that. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be 70 and 80 every week.
Yeah.
So it's and if we're not going to the track, we can, do different things outside, like cross country goes around the soccer field or on the trails. The distance runners, it's no problem. It's the specialty people, but we get the job done.
Yeah. Didn't I see you guys had hurdles set up in the lobby like a week or two ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I don't even as you were talking, I'm like, wait a second. I'm pretty sure I saw them running hurdles in the hallway.
It's the nice thing about practicing in the morning. There's nobody else around.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
Yeah. Anyway, we can end on this, but you still got half a season to participate in, to compete in. But what are you hoping to see come nationals? Do you think your teams have a shot at winning the national championship, or placing? Because you guys have placed pretty high in the last couple of years. So
the goal is, I don't care what national meet, whether for us it's cross country or track, top 3 and being on the podium is always nice. I think it's very hard to say that you're going to win.
Yeah.
That's because winning the national championship, that's a tough deal. Everything has to go right. You got to have everybody healthy at the right time. You go in, and if you can compete and be in the top 3, then you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's like we have to get people there, and once you're there, then let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah. And it's such a different kind of a different just way of looking at things. Because, you look at, let's say, college football. If you make the national championship, whether it's the tournament or the game itself, you lose. Well, okay, you're not getting a podium finish. But, the Winter Olympics just ended, bronze, silver, gold. It's kind of the same thing with track. Track and field is an Olympic sport.
We've had track now. This is our 4th year. Each year we've won a trophy, whether it be men or women. So I think that's something that I take pride in with our program, that we are competitive. Mm-hmm. And I think the one thing about this year is the teams are so together. They're so close. This has been an absolutely fun year to coach everybody.
Yeah. And you have plenty of student athletes who are vying for individual national championships. Correct. Which, what was it, last year you had
6 or 7.
Yeah,
right.
that's cool for those kids. And then
Oh, yeah.
all of the All-Americans. For those who don't know, Jeff's office is just filled with the like awards basically for all your student
For the
athletes.
athletes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
because I think they're the ones who do the work.
Mm-hmm.
I have never ran, jumped, or thrown for anybody. Quite frankly, I couldn't do it anymore. Maybe run a little bit, but they're the ones who do the work.
Yeah.
And they're the ones to be celebrated. And for an athlete to get to the national championships in any sport, no matter what it is, it's something they'll remember for the rest of their lives. And that opportunity should never be taken away from anybody in any sport.
Right. Well, Jeff, I appreciate you taking the time to come out to New Lenox here at Grounded Coffee Bar to speak with me. I wanted to get you on. I mean, all of our other teams, we didn't even touch on wrestling. They're on their way to
they're
their
on there.
nationals
Yeah,
right
they're-
now. So
It's a busy, with
Yeah.
baseball and softball leaving for their spring trips, and basketball's leaving, and spring break coming
Yep.
up here, and it's crazy.
yeah. Like I don't even know what I'm going to be doing next week. I don't know.
Vacation.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking. For example, because it related to Coffee with the Wolves. At the moment, I'm not sure if we're going to have an episode next week. I'm planning on it, but depends on who's available.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jeff, again, thanks for joining me here at Grounded Coffee Bar.
All right. Well, thank you.
Good luck on the rest of your season. And to those watching, as always, we end on Wolf of the Week, and we'll see you next week here on Coffee with the Wolves.